I, Surya Gune, Assistant Professor with KC College, welcome you all on behalf of the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate and HSNC University, Mumbai. We have gathered here today for the inauguration of the certificate course in real estate entrepreneurship, a groundbreaking initiative launched by the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate. NHSRE has launched this course to cater to the needs of one of the fastest growing industries in the world, which is real estate industry. It opens up a new opportunity of learning about this ever-growing field of real estate. In today's session on Introduction to Real Estate, we have distinguished speakers amongst us who will give you insights about various aspects and avenues of the industry. One of the most significant persons in the launch of NHSRE is Dr. Hemlata Bagla. Dr. Hemlata Bagla is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of HSNC University, Mumbai, and Director of Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate. She's also the principal of KC College. She's an acclaimed researcher academician herself, whose work has been recognized on several eminent national and international forums. Dr. Bagla is also a very strong leader, and with her dynamic vision and leadership, she has been and is the driving force behind several initiatives at the university. I now invite Dr. Hemlata Bagla, ma'am, to deliver the formal welcome address of the event. Ma'am, over to you.
Dani, Advocate Mr. Chetan Kapadia, Head Academics, Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, Dr. Sundaram Korivi, Chairperson of Board of Studies, Dr. Shalini Sinha, Deans, Vice Principals, teachers, and participants of the certificate program, a very good evening to each one of you. And a warm welcome to all of you to the inauguration of the certificate course in real estate entrepreneurship under the aegis of Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, HSNC University, Mumbai. It's indeed my great pleasure, and I'm very happy to introduce another chapter in the first year of Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate. This may be the first year. I would say this month we complete the first year. Last year on 24th February 2021, we started this maiden journey of the school, starting this certificate program in real estate entrepreneurship and RERA compliance. And today, in the same month, after 1 year, we are here after launching the School of Real Estate, Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, with 2 years MBA program started by this institution. So this month marks a very important landmark year for the school. And also, friends, I would like to say that this important day also marks the leap to the next phase, which is luminous and prosperous. And at this very special national annual juncture, when we all are discussing and extracting the best of our Indian economy through the budget, you must have heard and must have seen the budget announcement by the Honorable Finance Minister day before yesterday. And you would have seen, you must have realized that India is leapfrogging towards growth by increasing investment in the infrastructure. And as you know, infrastructure is connected to the real estate market. Good infrastructure in the form of better roads, better power, better connectivity, better water supply gives direct flip to the real estate industry. The massive road construction program announced by Honorable Prime Minister under the Gati Shakti framework will lead to substantial and much better urban development and employment. The infrastructure investment leads to a multiplier effect in the Indian economy as it benefits every industry, whether it is steel industry, cement, building material, real estate, or rural economy. And all this can happen because it generates huge employment. Hence, friends, there cannot be a better time to understand the real estate markets and until you become an important part of this real estate entrepreneurship school. These certificate courses have been introduced for the students who may not have time to join a full-time MBA program, but aspiring to do MBA in real estate with us, but are also willing to learn specific area of real estate industry by being part of these certificate programs. Friends, it will also benefit you if you are not just the student, but you are also are running some business or working professional, and you want to upskill or upgrade your knowledge grade, and also if you want to set a feet in the real estate industry in times to come in a formal way. So this is the school which will continue to create and curate such programs for all those aspirants, and will always bring to you such programs in the near future as well. So friends, once again, it gives me pleasure to welcome all the distinguished speakers who are there today with us. And let me tell you, before I go to them, a last few things, that real estate is not just only the blueprints, bricks, steel, or cement. It's about people. It is built by the people and it is built for the people. So we are here to build right people. So right people are here amidst us today to build right people and to build their right future. And after all, it's not a home or a development we are talking about. We are talking about the future of each one of you. Today, if you close your eyes and think of Hawaii, what comes in front? When we close eyes and think of Dubai, what comes up front? Is the skyline first. And this is how the real estate is all about. I would like to say one line which I read somewhere and I try to recollect is about that we do to the architecture what times does to technology. Should I say real estate does to architecture what time does to the technology? Friends, NHSRE, the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, I think is the best thing which can happen to education in real estate industry. Studying right in the business school, pioneered by the man who has transformed the Indian real estate industry. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce and welcome the genius master of Indian real estate himself, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, one of the few living business legends in the world who will be able to teach what he himself has learned. What he himself learned, he executed and ultimately mastered at our very own NHSRE school, trying to be the mentor, or rather mentor, to each one of you. We also have with us today Mr. Chetan Kapadia. We thank him always for being present in all our programs because he's the brain behind this. He is one of the renowned counsel at Supreme Court. I have honor of welcoming him too. Welcome, Mr. Chetan Kapadia. And he's the one, I would say, a long-standing friend of Dr. Hiranandani. He convinced Sir to take up this cause of creating a tangible skill set in the real estate sector, which contribute massively to India's GDP. And then we decided, instead of School of Real Estate, why can't we name with name of our trustee, our Honorable Provost, Niranjan Hiranandani. He is the force behind NHSRE, and he continues to even contribute to the content of whether it's a real estate entrepreneurship certificate course or other programs which he started in NHSRE. We also have with us Dr. Sundaram Korivi, a far-sighted and futuristic personality who brings a far-sighted and futuristic curriculum too. He's our academic head of NHSRE, and he's the brain behind the extremely well curated content which we rolled out to aspiring students of NHSRE, even for MBA program and all the certificate courses. A warm welcome to all the principals who are part of this evening, part of this endeavor, Deans Commerce and Management, Dr. Pujaram Chandani, Dean and Humanities, Dr. Balani, and Registrar of HSNC University, Vice Principals of all the colleges, KC, HR, and Bombay Teachers Training College, faculty members, all the members of Board of Studies who are present this evening, and all the students of NHSRE, MBA, who are pursuing MBA, and who are also wanting to pursue this certificate course. Today, we also have students of the School of Applied Sciences, Data Science, and Business Analytics, who are participants of this program. You all will be the torch bearers, and you will take this program forward and also inspire others who aspire to learn and take and put their feet into this field. So once again, a warm welcome to all of you. And I wish all the best to each one who has put an effort for this certificate course, and all the students who are part of this program. I'm sure that you will have a wonderful learning experience at NHSRE. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bagla ma'am, for your address. I would now like to formally introduce to you all our Honorable Provost of HSNC University, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. Dr. Hiranandani is the co-founder and MD of Hiranandani Group. He is the past National President of National Real Estate Development Council and also the past President of an eminent organization, ASSOCHAM. Sir's visionary leadership has guided not only the industry, but several other organizations as well. He is attributed as the thought leader of the industrial sector in India. Dr. Hiranandani is the trustee of HSNC board and also the first provost of HSNC University. Sir is the guiding force behind NHSRE. I'm sure with his support and his unparalleled experience, HSNC University and Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate will achieve glorious heights. Sir, I would now like to invite you to deliver the inaugural address of today's event.
A very good evening to each and every one of you. It's my pleasure and privilege to be here along with Dr. Bagla, the Vice Chancellor of HSNC University and the head of the School of Real Estate, Advocate Chetan Kapadia, learned, who has led the legal profession in such a beautiful way and looks after so much of my personal work and the institutional work also. Dr. Korivi, the academic head, it's wonderful that you are here with us and also to lead the academic side in such a beautiful way. So Dr. Surya, thank you very much for your kind introduction and your participation in the School of Real Estate. My friends, the field of real estate is very, very, very exciting. In our country, we talk about roti, kapda, makan. Roti and kapda, in the 70 years or plus of independence, we've been able to get food for all. And we have created even surpluses for food so that the government can actually dole out food for people who are hungry, who are poor, and are not able to actually earn their livelihood. This is actually a surplus is created. But what about makan? We are grossly deficient in the terms of having a shelter, a roof over our head is deficit in our country. So makan is still to be fulfilled. Let's take the case of Mumbai. Mumbai, the richest city in India, have more than 50% of its population living in slums or jhoppatis. This is really ironical because the opportunity of creating housing has been recognized by one and all, including the Prime Minister, who has given the clarion call of housing for all. He's also set out the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, the program for the purposes of providing affordable housing in the whole country in order to provide housing for each and every one of us in terms of availability of homes, etc. where many items have been considered in the budget. However, I'd like to flag off a couple of them. And one of the main important ones which we are concerned with is the Prime Minister's Awaaj Yojana, which provides for 48,000 crores of rupees to provide for 1.1 crore houses, 1 crore 10 lakh houses in the year 22-23. Yes, there are certain conditions like the price of the house not to exceed 45 lakhs, interest subvention of 3% for the next 15 years, and a huge dole out, which is there even when private sector is providing houses under this scheme. So the importance of the housing sector is certainly recognized by. Over a period of years, the growth of the housing industry has been huge. Earlier, we wouldn't find corporate entities entering into real estate. Today you do. You never got foreign direct investment coming into real estate. Now you do. You didn't get state governments actually moving their housing boards and all the other agencies to do a lot about real estate. You didn't get the state governments to make projects for the purposes of slum rehabilitation. Now you do have it. So the importance of housing is recognized by the Honorable Prime Minister, by the Government of India, committed to a budget provision which is there. And also the state governments have shown a lot of interest into the sector. In the last 2 years, look what has happened. In the COVID times, Maharashtra government has reduced the stamp duty for the purposes of buying houses by 60%. This was unique, that the stamp duty on homes was 5%, and a 60% reduction of stamp duty meant you paid just 2% stamp duty for buying a house instead of 5%. That itself indicated that the state government is also very enthusiastic to give a fillip to the housing sector. Having talked about the fillip to the housing sector, what does it mean to the GDP of India? Today, real estate alone, not counting infrastructure, contributes 7% to the GDP of India. That's a huge number, and it is the second largest after the agricultural sector, which is, of course, the mainstay of this country. But it employs 15% of the working force of India. So though it contributes 7% in terms of GDP, the employment multiplier potential is 15%. That's huge. And that itself indicates, and this is not only the skilled people like engineers or technicians or accountants or architects and other people, it also includes a lot of other people who manage the project, those who do project management, but it also includes skilled and unskilled manpower. All this combines to show that when any amount is invested in the building industry, the multiplier effect in terms of GDP growth and employment is huge and a great multiple factor. All this was necessary. However, as I grew in the real estate field, I found that there was something lacking. If I wanted somebody which was technically qualified to work in the real estate industry, there was a great deficiency. So I would get a person who is a chartered accountant who would have an accountant proficiency in accounts. But when it was to understand the idiosyncrasies, the peculiarities, the specialities of real estate, he always floundered and over a period of time had to learn by making mistakes or going through that experience. Also, when we talked about project management, there were people who were civil engineers. But when you wanted to get into project management specifically of real estate, you really didn't have the skill sets which were taught in the colleges. Similarly, in the case of marketing or sales, we got a lot of students who would be graduates and postgraduates in the area of sales and marketing. However, the scope of real estate is a very focused, targeted area and requires a large amount of specialization to understand the subject and to be proficient in this matter in order to see that things are clear and knowledgeable for the person who enters this industry. Can you get that by practical experience by working in the industry? The answer is definitely yes. However, it does not help a person who has just graduated and wanting to enter into the industry to be knowledgeable about the entire factum of the broad spectrum facts of the industry. And hence, the people who want to get into this industry, it would be a fantastic idea in order to A, understand what we are trying to explain and teach to you in the certificate course, which gives you a basic understanding of what is required for you to have knowledge in the real estate industry and to improve your knowledge or upskill your knowledge or to create additional information and knowledge which you will be able to imbibe. However, if you really want to target yourself to take it to the next level, then of course, you need to take a postgraduate degree in real estate, which means the full-fledged MBA that we provide in NHSRE University, which is a well-curated, well-prepared, industry-oriented background with the best in class from every field of real estate to participate in, from property consultants to housing finance, to developers, to contractors, to marketing and other people. All of them have participated in order to create the syllabus which enables you to do a quick learning. Of course, the best part of the story is not only the learning, but also to have opportunity to work and learn from industry itself. And I think that's the best part of the postgraduate course that we have created. The possibility to integrate with the best in class, to be able to share knowledge coming from the best in class in every aspect of the real estate industry. And that is the most wonderful part of these courses that we have curated for you. So I really am happy that the knowledge that is there in the industry is compiled together with an academic background that Dr. Korivi has prepared, with all of us sitting together and participating in order to constantly upgrade this knowledge, bring industry professionals to come and speak to us and talk to us, interact to us, and find out what is it that really you need to know better than anybody else in the industry, even though you may not have had the ability or practical experience of working in the industry. So there is a magic formula. The magic is that you have all the secrets of the industry curated, put together by our School of Real Estate, brought it together by the best in class to teach you and share with you, and also have the ability in order to interact so that when you move out after the certificate course with the basic knowledge about each aspects of it, and with an upgraded knowledge, if you do the management or the postgraduate too, to be the best in class or as soon as you enter the industry. Suddenly, people who will meet you will be shocked with the kind of knowledge that you have got. Many times it would take you 10, 20 years of working before you could get some part of the knowledge that you will be getting packaged today for the purposes of your knowledge. So you will have an advantage to be able to leapfrog yourself at the next level in terms of industry practice. And there are a large number of people in industry who want students, who want people who have this basic knowledge available to you. I myself, I look for such people in order to do it. But of course, you have to have that special instinct to want to learn. Because no matter what we teach you, if you stop learning, you cannot be the best in class. So the secret is, as soon as you have learned something, it is always more important to look out and understand how can we improve ourselves even better and continue to learn, interact with us at the School of Real Estate, interact with the professionals, interact with the people in the industry, interact with all the other people, and constantly be a learner and also be a teacher. Because once you teach, you also clarify what you have learned and be able to do it. So I think I've shared enough and told you enough about what we have curated for you, what we have prepared for you. And I do hope that you and I will both enjoy this journey of teaching and learn from each other, learn from the world, and learn from the best in class. All the very best in this adventure of life, and just enjoy this journey.
Thank you so much, sir, for that insightful address. I'm sure that our audience and our prospective students must have learned a great deal about avenues in the real estate sector. Thank you once again. We also have with us today Academic Head of Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, Dr. Sundar Ram Korivi. Dr. Korivi is a senior consultant with the National Institute of Finance Markets, established by the Government of India. Dr. Korivi is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and associate of the Insurance Institute of India. He is the visiting faculty at several esteemed institutions like Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, IIM Kozhikode, IIM Amritsar, Symbiosis International University, to name a few. In his academic career, Dr. Korivi has been associated with several eminent educational institutions in the country. He has also been a corporate trainer with some of India's top groups like Tata, L&T, Birla, and many more. With this introduction, I now invite Dr. Korivi to deliver the special address of the event. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, Dr. Bagla, Dr. Hiranandani, Mr. Chetan Kapadia, and my colleagues at NHSRE and HSNC University, and dear student friends. So first of all, as a professor, I would like to congratulate each one of you for taking this decision to invest in yourselves through this certificate program. I say invest in yourself because the return which you get from this knowledge is going to be manifold and stand you in good stead in your career ahead. We shall look at three aspects today. One is real estate itself. The second is this aspect of entrepreneurship, since this is a course on real estate entrepreneurship. And third, we will be looking at NHSRE and what it has in store for you. As far as real estate is concerned, it is a very versatile sector, a sector which has got versatility in its offerings. Unlike a factory which can produce items based on its assembly line, a chemical company can manufacture only a certain set of chemicals. A textile company can manufacture only a set of textiles based on what has been programmed in its assembly line. But a real estate sector, in the real estate sector, we can virtually produce anything. Residential buildings, commercial buildings, warehouses, data centers, you name it. And therefore it is a sector which moves with the times. That is the versatility. And therefore it is able to make itself relevant and important across the business cycles. That is one aspect. As Dr. Hiranandani says, it absorbs a whole lot of skills, right from conceptualization, development, construction, project management, and finance and law. Apart from that, the manner in which the real estate sector has grown in India can be seen in three phases. First phase was how it was operating until the 1990s, when it was an economy of shortages, where producing few houses and selling them at the maximum price was the business model. Greater amount of formalization and corporatization has taken place over the years. And what the future brings, as far as real estate is concerned, is a huge opportunity in terms of commercial real estate, data warehousing, and logistic parks. And for doing all this, the manner in which the real estate sector has been operating for the last 60 years is going to be quite different, okay, in the times to come. And therefore, we are looking at youngsters with new skills and the ability to learn. So what is education? It is learning to learn. So the real estate sector in a nutshell is going through three mantras right now. Scale. With the corporatization, real estate organizations are working on a larger scale. It is no longer a boutique cottage industry type of activity. Second is the speed, is that entrepreneurs are willing to get in and get out of a project with greater speed, because once you complete one project, there are bigger projects to execute. So speed. And the last is scope. From a particular type of construction, let us say residential, it has gone to commercial, industrial, and infrastructural. So the scale, speed, and scope, in all these three dimensions, the real estate sector is undergoing expansion, and that calls for a scaling. Next point is entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the magic of weaving together land, labor, and capital, physical capital as well as financial capital. All these are there, all these will always be there. But unless you have the entrepreneurs who act as a binding force to bring these together, the products and services will never come into existence. And that is the real beauty of the entrepreneurship. Today, compared to 70 years ago, the atmosphere is much, much more conducive to entrepreneurship. And the winds of change which are blowing towards development globally are now flowing across India also. So this is a unique opportunity for you to be an entrepreneur, not just as a developer, but you can be a technology entrepreneur, you can be a finance entrepreneur, or you can be a marketing entrepreneur. Several shades of entrepreneurship there is a scope for. And last but not the least, I would like to say something about NHSRE. First, I would like to say something about Mumbai. Mumbai itself is an institution. And when I talk about Mumbai, I'm not talking about a particular spot. Right from the tip of Colaba up to Karjat on one side, Panvel on one side, Dahanu on one side, we now talk about Mumbai metropolitan region, which is one of the most vibrant regions in the world with a cosmopolitan character. That is the arena of Mumbai. And it has got a buzz, it has got a magic, and it has got a vibrancy of its own, that anybody who comes to Mumbai ultimately, consciously or unconsciously, learns a lot of things. Teamwork, crisis management, these are all things which you will learn. Empathy for others, the go-getter spirit of Mumbai, that makes Mumbai itself as an institute. Within this institute of Mumbai, you have another great institute called HSNC, okay, which has got a pedigree of exactly 99 years or 100 years, if I may say so. 100 not out, still batting strong. So that is the pedigree of HSNC University, which has a very elite alumni, in various fields. From the HSNC comes the HSNC University, and within that we have the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate. It's an institute which is born out of the new environment and daringly looking at the opportunities and challenges that are presented before us. And in the last 1 year, as Dr. Bagla pointed out, we've developed a wonderful team. Everything is here. All the ingredients for making a great institute are here. We've got great vision, great leadership, great teamwork, wonderful supporting colleagues, and wonderful students. And we have been able to create content. We have been working as a team. And as far as the processes are concerned, as I have been acquainted in this project, although I know Dr. Hiranandani since last 15, 20 years, over the last 1 year, when we sat together on this particular project, the amount of information and knowledge which is there in the real estate sector, which we found, is mind-boggling. We ourselves are learning each day. And we are actually bursting to give this knowledge to you. Okay, so we are very happy that at this crucial juncture of the Indian economy, of the real estate sector in India, and this new offering that NHSRE has, we are happy to present to you the second batch offering of the certificate program in real estate. Just a couple of words of advice I have for our young student friends is that always keep your mind open, keep your notebooks open. Every drop of information which the visiting experts are saying is useful for you. Keep learning, keep asking curious questions, and create a learning diary. And you will find that everything, absolutely everything which you learn here is going to serve you well in your future career. So welcome to Mumbai, welcome to HSNC, welcome to NHSRE, triple welcome to all of you. And on behalf of all of us, we wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Korivi, for your address. I'm sure the students definitely feel welcome in the institution after your address. Thank you once again. Now to talk about a student's perspective in Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, we have amongst us Advocate Chetan Kapadia. Advocate Kapadia, a lawyer in Bombay High Court for more than 25 years, has a thriving practice in civil, constitutional, company, and arbitration matters. He also appears in the Supreme Court of India and various tribunals. He has also represented Union of India as Senior Panel Counsel. A member of the Standing Committee of Bombay Bar Association, Advocate Kapadia was also the member of Academic Council of Damodaran Sanjeevayya National Law University, Visakhapatnam. I now invite Advocate Kapadia to deliver his special address of the event. Over to you, sir.
Hi, a very good evening to all my friends here. We've heard three very, very wise people. We've heard Dr. Hiranandani, the Honorable Provost of the HSNC University, a businessman par excellence, a man who has done what nobody else has ever done before in the field of real estate. We have heard Dr. Bagla, who is an extraordinary academician, a super administrator, and our Honorable Vice Chancellor. We also heard Dr. Korivi, a man who has spent his entire life in academia and who has played a pivotal role in setting up the educational curriculum and the content which is being presented to all of you all. So all of them have spoken with great erudition on the various aspects associated with the real estate industry and the course. What I want to talk to you, friends, is not about what you all are going to do in this course, but I think what you all want to do in life, because you all are all teenagers or a little elder than that. You all are all still studying in college or probably just passed out. And all of you all need to know the first thing. And the first thing to know is that boys, girls, students, friends, the best way for you all to predict your future, the best way for you all to predict your future is to work towards creating it. And well, we all have aspirations. I had them when I was your age, and I wish I could get back to your age. Your aspirations, if I'm to break them down, are to have a successful career, to have overflowing money, to have all-round respect, and to have a stellar personality. So how is it and what is it that you all can do to ensure that you all have a successful career, overflowing money, all-round respect, and a stellar personality? Well, all of you all know that you all have to work hard, study hard, and stuff like that. And all of you all have, in support of that, chosen to take up this course. So let me just put to you all what I think you all need to do in the next few months, in the next few weeks, and the next few years to ensure that your aspirations for career, money, respect, and personality are to the maximum extent met. You all have all friends chosen to take up a course of entrepreneurship. And what really it is it to be an entrepreneur? Well, you all desire to be persons who wish to make money by running a business, even though it entails taking some risks, because all of you all desire to be innovators in life, innovators who adapt to changing circumstances and environment and continuously make improvements in activities, as a result of which you all excel in the activity you all are undertaking. These kind of aspirations are based on the desire to start a business someday or be part of somebody else's business where you provide your entrepreneurial input. Make sure that risks which are existing are taken care of. Pitfalls which exist don't result in a going down the drain of activities which are being undertaken by your enterprise or the enterprise where you all provide services. You all want to ensure that you all come up with ideas and develop business models, as a result of which things go well for everything and all around. You all also desire to be in the driver's seat insofar as your own life is concerned. But for doing all of this and achieving the four results of having a successful career, overflowing money, all-round respect, and a stellar personality, what is first essential is to gather knowledge. And gathering that knowledge is through education and followed by training along with experience. So, having made the right choice of being entrepreneurs in life and absorbing education in that regard, I think you all have made the correct choice by choosing real estate as an area of activity. It has been pointed out by all the three learned speakers who have addressed you all before me as to what an interesting and ever-growing area the world of real estate is. So friends, it is not just an overgrowing area, but in terms of participation, it is a confluence of various fields. We have people from the world of finance, people from the world of engineering, people from the world of design, people from various worlds who provide different kinds of services in the world of real estate. And it is a result of that confluence that the overall activity of real estate is able to come up with products and give it to all of you all. So it is because of that that the course which is being offered to you all has components of law, components of marketing, components of finance, and components of personality development. And friends, when all these components are absorbed by you all in the course of your real estate entrepreneurship course, you all will realize that the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate has tailor-made a program of the highest standards which any educational institution possibly offers, so as to create three kinds of traits, personality traits in you all. It emphasizes that all of you all at the end of the day, in addition to acquiring knowledge about real estate, need to develop personality trait of adaptability, persistence, and hard work. And a combination of all of this and more will ensure that the roller coaster of life, which you all are just going to get on, will give you all a thrill which is better than the best. Good luck, my friends, and I promise you all that your course will be something which will be besides you in terms of learning and help for all times to come. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Advocate Kapadia, for that address of yours. I'm sure the students are really excited and pumped about the upcoming avenues that they are going to explore with NHSRE. Before we move to the concluding part of today's session, we will have a question and answer session as well. If anyone in the audience has a question for any of our speakers, please, I request you to put it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask your question as well, if there are any questions.
Meanwhile, am I audible, Surya?
Yes.
Yeah, I request tech team or Hoshang to show the modules which will be run through from tomorrow. The days they have so that one page can be shared on the screen.
Yes, ma'am. We'll get Monish to just showcase the timetable.
And also, I request the pictures of last year's certificate program. Surya, over to you.
Yes, I would request our members of the audience to post their questions in the chat if there are any. Else we can proceed to the next part of the event. All right. I think there are no questions for the. Okay, there is a question from Rahul. Where will we be getting the recording of the video? Hoshan sir.
Yes, ma'am. All the recordings will be shared post each module. So the students will get them on email as well.
All right. Thank you very much for answering the question. There is another question in the chat. Anuja is asking when will we get the notes about all the modules? I think
They will get the notes as well from the speaker separately, and we have an entire database of all the notes for them as well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Surya, there are more questions I could see in the chat box. So just wait for a second. I could read. Yeah, just check.
Yeah, I'm just.
And give, otherwise, unmute the students who can raise hands and ask them questions.
Yes. Vijendra is asking in the chat, what are the major points to keep in mind to start a real estate development firm in the current time?
And once they finish this module, they will get the answer to that question.
Aditya Chaudhary has raised the hand. Tech team, can we unmute Aditya for the question?
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am, and good evening, respected dignitaries. So as we are about to start our certification on real estate management, I had this question. I was looking over stats of Bombay real estate. So 52.5% of Bombay's population live in 9% of total area. Like as sir already mentioned that this is a stark thing that we have to cope up. But beside this, Bombay is that city which has highest number of unoccupied and vacant houses. It's 0.48 million. So how do we plan to cope up with this problem in future, and what will we learn? How can we crack this thing? I want to know that.
Aditya, I'll take your question. The fact is that if you go to search for a house, do you find a suitable house which is affordable and within your benchmark of affordability, or able to get a loan which will fit into your bill? The answer is more likely no. And that is the gap which exists from the demand position, which is an economic demand, not just demand in terms of need. Because we are not able to satisfy economic demand in respect of homes and housing, that is why we have so much problem. And that is why people have to live in jugis and jhopris. As to your second part of your question, as to why there are so many places vacant, there is a major problem in the case of rental housing, and people are afraid to give their homes on rental housing. The leave and license system in Maharashtra has partly solved that problem, but not completely. But the government of India has now brought about a model rent act, which will give a partnership between the landlord and the occupant sufficient enough in order to protect both the landlord and the tenant. Once that is adopted by the state government, the vacancy level in terms of homes will disappear. Either it will be sold or it will be rented out. So it will be occupied. Hence, the gap exists in terms of buildings which are ready, maybe old or new, which are not occupied as compared to those which are rented out. So there's a gap in terms of the legislation, which will make a world of a difference.
Okay, I understand it, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Thank you, Aditya, for the question. There's a question by Swapnil. He's asking, what is the future of commercial real estate in rural India, considering e-commerce business extending their business in rural areas?
So the e-commerce business is now looking at a platform of A-grade warehousing in terms of commercial opportunities. So that is growing at a very, very rapid pace. I just attended a JLL program under the GRI conference, and they say that the growth taking place in that segment is between 16 and 20% compounded. That's huge, especially after the octroi nakas have disappeared, GST come in. You don't have to locate all the warehousing and commercial just outside city centers in order to get benefit of that. So you will find a huge growth in terms of warehousing and those opportunities. As far as commercial offices are concerned, they tend to gravitate to certain centers like Nariman Point, like BKC, like Lower Parel, like Powai, like Thane, like Navi Mumbai. So these are centers of gravity which are there. But commercial offices exist everywhere. So that part of it is definitely taking place. And the last is, after COVID, the work from home has changed the picture in terms of working operations also. So many people are able to work from home. And it is my belief that over a period of years, between 10 and 20% of people may permanently work from home. And that could benefit the people who are able to do part-time working in various companies and operations. And at the same time, to people who would like to bring up their families and utilize that too.
Mr. R.G. Dighe from the audience has raised his hand. Sir, I would like you to unmute, please. Yes, thank you.
Hello. Hello. I am audible?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Yeah, it is a pleasure and talking to with all of you. And my question is to Dr. Hiranandani, sir. What is the direct benefit to real estate industry from the budget?
The real estate industry benefit has come only under the PMAY scheme of 28,000 crores, which is an interest subvention of 3% for 15 years. The benefit doesn't come to urban areas like Mumbai, Delhi, etc., because there is a cap on the value of real estate, and land being a large component of real estate cost. The costs of the apartments are higher than 45 lakhs, at least in Mumbai city and suburbs, especially if you see the ready reckoner value, it automatically sweeps beyond 45 lakhs. Hence, the benefit is not available to these cities. But in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, a huge amount of operation in real estate is taking place in the affordable housing segment of 30 meters, 60 meters apartments. And they are highly benefited in this budget by the extension of the Prime Minister's Awaaj Yojana program, which is there. The second part of it is the improvement in infrastructure of cities and the country. So road network, metro, water supply, fiber connectivity, data centers, all this is being catapulted to a higher level of operation. And hence, there is going to be a huge difference in terms of quality of infrastructure, which will be available to us in the next couple of years. So a great focus on a PMAY scheme as well as infrastructure development of the country.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There are a few more questions. Ma'am, with your permission, can we take those questions as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. A question from Mehul. Mehul writes, I wanted to know, where do we work after MBA real estate programs, as in placements and opportunities related to that?
Excellent question, Mehul. I'm glad that you have asked this question. The opportunity is huge. Huge means really large. First of all, there are 260 industries which deal with real estate. So whether it is cement, whether it's steel, whether it's paints, whether it's tiles, whether it's this, that's the suppliers of raw materials. Second, you can work with developers who require these type of qualified people to run the operations. The third, you can work if you're qualified in the accountancy, project management areas, costing, finances, financing, marketing, selling, all these aspects. And of course, knowing the law in connection with the real estate, whether it's buying of properties, selling of properties, dealing with real estate regulatory authorities and others. So your opportunity of jobs is huge and wide and unbelievably large. And people would be tremendously glad that you will be able to get the breadth of real estate in your mind and be able to target a particular field of activity. So if you're a lawyer and you learn about an MBA in real estate also, you'll be able to get into a real estate company and be on the top of the company very, very, very fast. Similarly, in every aspect of the business.
Sir, we have another question for you from Vijendra. Vijendra is asking, may I know your thoughts on clients' expectations from a luxury residential home? What do they want or check before buying one?
They'll mange more. They always want more than what you can give. And the kind of, and you have to satisfy your customer. No, you have to delight your customer with the kind of product that you produce and deliver. This is something, you buy a car, you buy a mobile, you buy anything. You want it to work well. It should look beautiful. It should be well done. It should be durable. It should be endurable. It should be easy to maintain. It should give you a good quality of life in terms of staying and other things. So yes, the expectations can be innumerable. The idea is to pick up a particular standard of goods that you deliver and then try to upgrade yourself every year and in every project that you do. So if you do that, it's important. And the last, the customer must trust you that what you're saying is what you will deliver. I think that's the biggest and most important fact that you must keep in mind, not only in real estate, in any kind of business or deal that you do, you should be trustworthy. And that's a very, very big factor in the real estate business, because people give crores of rupees, lakhs of rupees for buying a house. And if they don't trust you, then it's no use.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. Vipul and Darshan have posed a similar question, put a similar question in the chat. I'd like to combine both and ask one question. Both of them are civil engineers, and they have experience in execution, site execution. Darshan is simultaneously pursuing law and is in his final year. So they are asking about the opportunities in real estate firms and real estate sector after their certificate course or MBA program. What can the job profile be?
All right. Oh, very good question again. So when we talk about niche specialities, it is very good to have detailed knowledge of a particular subject. So whether it's law, whether it's civil engineering, whether it's chartered accountants, whether it's architecture, it doesn't matter what your basic background is. Once you are an MBA in real estate, you are able to then focus on the applicability of the knowledge of civil engineers to real estate, the applicability of laws, relevant laws, which come up for the purposes of real estate. All those factors may not be in detail available to you when you do it. Second, once you know the broad spectrum about real estate, the applicability of all that makes you suddenly much more wiser. I would say the word wiser, because when you have a background, either you have to have experience and get wisdom, or you must have broad knowledge and get wisdom. So at a very young age, you can become wiser. But the secret of becoming wiser is to continue learning every day. So you don't stop learning after you become wise, because the wise person continues to learn every day. So this will give you a breadth of knowledge which will be very useful to you in the subject of real estate, irrespective of whether you are an engineer, a lawyer, an architect, a BCom, whatever it may be, it would be useful for you to take up the real estate. And second, once you do real estate as a subject, you may not necessarily only do real estate. There are so many services mechanisms where you can participate in and still have the background of MBA in real estate or certificate course in real estate, which will be useful to you.
Thank you, sir, for that detailed answer. There are about 3 more questions in the chat. Can I proceed with those questions?
Yeah, please.
Gaurang Kumar is asking what type of general requirements are there by the company searching for data center warehouses?
Oh, this is a very niche specialty. And there are only about a dozen companies in India which actually work on data centers. Now, these except companies, banks and financial institutions have their own data centers, but by and large, the captive ones, the larger ones, are very few. They have standards of expectations which are very, very, very high. And their specs and knowledge are known to people who are working for the purposes of construction of buildings and real estate. But however, each one of the companies which require these buildings to be constructed have their own separate specifications and knowledge. So while the general specifications in terms of backup, in terms of power, connectivity, co-location, connectivity to the undersea cables, international undersea cables, and other connectivity, 24/7 power with 100% backup in terms of it. And of course, in the case of tier 4 data centers, even if there's an earthquake or even if there is nobody alive at the data center, and if there's a power failure, the data center still should continue to operate automatically without intervention of any human person. So all those and more are requirements of a data center, but each company has specific requirements which are different from each other.
Thank you, sir. Saeed Zulfikar has asked a question about the budget. In this year's budget, sir, we saw infrastructure status awarded to data centers and energy storage systems. But why is the real estate sector's demand for infrastructure status still ignored?
Very good question. I'm asking the same question from the government of India, the finance minister and the prime minister. I think maybe after you will question them, maybe they will listen. I've been asking them for many years. However, the prime minister is very keen on data privacy, data localization and stuff, and wants to leapfrog in the area of this. But I thought he should do it for housing also. And hopefully in the next year, they will bring and answer your question in the positive. I also have been requesting for many years. They haven't yet done it. And there's no good reason except that they haven't accepted it yet.
One last question from Rohit Boyer. He's asking, oh, there is one more question. He's asking, what are the opportunities for computer engineering students in real estate sector after doing MBA?
So the computer engineer student is, see, real estate now imbibes technology to the extent you cannot imagine. Whether it's in terms of design, whether it's in terms of construction, whether it's in terms of project management, whether it's in terms of engineering detailing, whether it's in terms of accounting, whether it's in terms of handling marketing, sales, finance, all other MIS information, monitoring, safety, security, backups, fraud, investigation, artificial intelligence, all that comes under the computer technology, which is available to us and all. So computer technology in the thing would be a base knowledge, which will be very useful, just like any other knowledge that you do, whether it's like architecture engineering, computer engineering would be equally applicable to real estate. In fact, more so now with the imbibing of technology in the field of real estate.
One last question is by Hardik Shetty. He's asking, can we expect, sir, again, this is a question for you. Can we expect the Hiranandani group to come out with REIT issue anytime in the future? Also, I'd like to hear sir's thought on REITs in its present form.
Yeah, so we have a lot of commercial real estate. We have almost now about 3.5 to 4 million square feet under rentals. So there is a prospect that we could come out with a REIT, but we are waiting to double that area, maybe 6-7 million square feet in the next 2 years before we actually come out with a REIT. So probably in another 2 years, there is a possibility that we may come out with a REIT. But I'm sure there'll be lots of other projects also coming out with a REIT, as has happened in the last 1 year. 3 REITs have come out, and we expect more to come. There are also investments into InvITs, which is relating to similar type of returns on infrastructure projects. Both these and more are likely to come in the next couple of years. We, of course, as a company would wait for another 2 years or so before we come out with a REIT.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. I would request the members of the audience to kindly reach out to us. If there are any more questions, they can reach out to us, visit the website of NHSRE, visit the social media pages to know more about the programs, certificate courses that we have to offer. With this, I would now like to invite Dr. Shalini Sinha, Chairperson of the Board of Studies of NHSRE and Vice Principal, KC College. Dr. Sinha has strong faith in the power of the youth in taking the nation forward, hence believes that the education has to be inclusive, incisive, and inspiration. I now invite Dr. Shalini Sinha to deliver the word.
Thank you so much, Surya. A very good evening to each one of you here. It's already 1 year since the inception of the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate, and we now begin a new year with a new batch with fresh energy and enthusiasm. It's an honor to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, the Honorable Provost of HSNC University, for that very inspirational inaugural address. Dr. Hiranandani is that rarest of gems who is an immensely successful industrialist with an overriding passion for education. The HSNC board, the HSNC University, and the Niranjan Hiranandani School of Real Estate are the happy beneficiaries of this passion. Thank you, sir, for your vision in creating this certificate program with an intention of producing well-trained professionals in the real estate sector, a sunrise sector for employment, as you just informed us. Thank you for taking the time to answer each question so extensively. If Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani is an industrialist with a passion for education, then Dr. Hemlata Bagla is a unique phenomena who is a scientist, a researcher, and has ventured into different fields of industry so as to bring well-structured and immensely beneficial courses to our students. Thank you, Dr. Bagla, who as Director NHSRE sees to every detail of its programs and ensures its smooth conduct. Our heartfelt gratitude to you for your address. I'm grateful to Dr. Sundarlal Korivi, who is the fount of knowledge at NHSRE. With his academic knowledge blended with industrial experience, Dr. Korivi ensures that the students of the school are second to none and will soon take their place prominently in every area of real estate. Thank you, sir, for your effort and dedication and for your insightful talk today. There are some people who maintain a sound knowledge of other fields and take time to motivate and energize, though they themselves might be from a totally different field. Such a motivator and inspirer is reputed advocate Chetan Kapadia. Thank you, Chetanji, for your inspirational words to our students. Thank you for your constant engagement with NHSRE and your presence. The deans of HSNC University, the principals of different college, other dignitaries, and dear teachers. My grateful thanks to each one of you for your support and your presence. There are many people behind a successful program. The people managing the program, the technical support, and the ones coordinating the program. My heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for your unstinting efforts. My appreciation to Ms. Surya Gune, faculty of KC College, for her yet another flawless execution of a program. And finally, the most important of all, my gratitude to our students, both present and prospective, who are with us today. Any program will become a success only with your full-fledged participation. You are an equal stakeholder to all the courses of the HSNC University. Thank you for your wholehearted participation and interaction today. May you help us fulfill our motto of the HSNC University, your dreams, our mission. Thank you to each one of you. Have a pleasant evening.